Wahab Public Law Library presents Is That Really Your Name? Today, we're talking about legal name change. Although it is a fairly simple process, we see many customers returning 2, 3, or more times to correct and refile paperwork that was rejected by the court. If you need to complete a legal name change, we hope you will stay with us as we review the process and point out some common errors that you can avoid. Before we begin, there are 3 things to keep in mind. What we present here is for your information. It is not intended as legal advice. We are looking at the process for name change in Virginia Beach as we know it today. Because things can change without warning, do not be surprised if the court's website, the instructions, or the forms look slightly different than the samples shown in this video. If you live outside of Virginia Beach, you can still benefit from this presentation, but you'll want to check with the circuit court in your city or county. The process varies slightly in each court. Why would you need to change your name? Reasons include divorce, adoption, and making a preferred name legal. Sometimes the person wants to take a new name that better reflects who they are. Many people have been instructed to complete a legal name change before renewing a driver's license or obtaining a passport because the names on their identifying documents do not match. In our jurisdiction, legal name change is governed by the Code of Virginia, Section 8.01-217. We have a print copy of the code at the law library, and it is also available online. In just a minute, we'll see a handy link to the relevant section of the code on the Circuit Court's name change webpage. While an internet search for name change will bring up many resources, our court requires the use of its own forms. Avoid a rejection by going directly to the source of the correct forms. Now let's take a look at that webpage. The Virginia Beach Circuit Court's web pages are part of the City of Virginia Beach website, which can be found at www.vbgov.com. In the ribbon at the top of the page, hover on the word Government and click on Courts and Jury Duty from the drop-down list. Notice that if you click on the word Government, you can get to the same place by then clicking on the Courts and Jury box. From the Courts and Jury page, click on Circuit Court Judge's Office in the blue box on the right. Then, on the left of the screen, click on the words Procedures for Civil Actions. Look at the blue tabs across the top and click on Name Change. Before we go further looking at the site, let's look at a different, slightly shorter way to get here. Wahab Public Law Library's webpage has a link to the court's name change page. Our web address is www.vbgov.com/courts law-library. From our landing page, scroll down and click on Legal Resources. Click on the Courts and Agencies tab. Click on the very first link, Circuit Court Procedures for Civil Actions. Click on the blue Name Change tab. The upper section of the Name Change webpage deals with name change for an adult. The lower section is for changing the name of a minor, that is, a child. Both sections contain instructions and links to the forms you need to complete. The link to the relevant section of the Virginia Code that we mentioned earlier is here in the Adult section. You can click on the link to read the text of the code, and then use the back arrow at the upper left of your screen to return to the court's webpage. Once you return, you will need to click on the Name Change tab again. You will complete and submit to the court both an application, which is your request for a name change, and an order, which is what the judge signs to grant your request. Clicking on the underlined title will open the form. You can type the answers to the questions and then print the document. The application may be neatly handwritten, but the order must be typed. Be sure to answer all the questions on each form. You will sign the forms in front of the clerk of the court when you come to file. Many folks find it easier to have the instructions page and the forms open at the same time. If you are not particularly comfortable with computers, what we're about to do may seem a bit advanced. Don't worry, it is not required. It is just a cool trick. Once on the name change page, point your mouse at the tab at the very top of your screen. You will be right-clicking on that tab. That is, clicking with the right side of your mouse instead of the left side. All other clicking is done on the left. It is just this particular move that is done on the right. So right-click the tab, then with the left side of the mouse, click on Duplicate Tab, and then click on Name Change. Now you've opened a second copy of the web page. Let's do it again. Right-click on the tab, click on Duplicate Tab, and then click Name Change. Now you have 3 copies of the Circuit Court's Name Change web page open. Leave the first one as it is so that you can see the instructions. Click on the second copy, then click on the words Application to open that form. Click on the third copy and click on the words for the order to open that form. Now you have both documents and the instructions easily accessible. All right, let's talk about some things you can do to avoid having your forms rejected by the court. First of all, follow the instructions. You are creating legal documents, and the court expects them to be complete and accurate. Use the full name each time, first, middle, last. All addresses should be complete with city, state, and zip code. Do not abbreviate anything, not even the state. The place of birth is city and state, or if outside the United States, the city and country. Make sure that the answers you give on the application match the ones you give on the order. One of the most common errors people make is reporting previous name changes incorrectly. This question refers to a legally changed name, not just a name that you have been using. If you have had one or more previous legal name changes, follow the instruction to use a from to format when listing your former legal names, such as from Sally Susan Smith to Sally Susan Jones, from Sally Susan Jones to Sally Susan Miller. Do that for as many changes as you have had. You will need to provide documentation for each name, such as birth certificate, adoption order, marriage certificate, court order, etc. Save yourself some aggravation by reading all the instructions on the web page and bringing everything you need with you. Photocopying is available in the law library, but there is nowhere inside the Judicial Center to purchase a stamp or an envelope. You can complete and print the forms at home, or you may come to Wahab Public Law Library and use one of our computers. We can assist you with finding the forms on the court's website, as well as with printing and photocopying. You will need to type the contents of the documents yourself. The charge for printing and photocopying is 20 cents per page for black and white and 50 cents per page for color. The machines will accept coins and bills and will give you change. You may also pay with most credit debit cards. Whether you are working at home or at the library, don't rush. Take the time to proofread carefully before you print. Don't close your document on the computer until you have the printed page in your hand and you have proofread it again. Once a form is closed, the contents are erased and you will need to start over to correct any mistakes, including unexpected printer malfunctions. Remember, proofread the screen, print the document, proofread the printed page, then close your document. When you are ready to file your name change with the court, you'll be coming to the Virginia Beach Judicial Center. You must enter through the main door of the courthouse, which is Building 10 on the Municipal Center campus. The address is 2425 Nimmo Parkway. There is a large parking lot in front of the building with a sign that says Court Parking. All visitors are screened by security. Cell phones, electronic devices, liquids, and weapons are all prohibited. To file your documents, pass through security and walk straight ahead to the elevators. Go to the clerk of the circuit court on the 3rd floor. If you're coming to the law library to complete your forms or make photocopies, pass through security and turn right at the hallway. Follow the blue and white signs pointing to Building 10B. The law library is on the ground floor of 10B. We hope this presentation helps you to prepare for a smooth name change process. Wahab Public Law Library welcomes your visit for name change or for any law-related research you need to do. Thank you for joining us today.